Have you ever heard of the saying, "The pen is mightier than the sword"? If you have, then you have just heard a timeless example of metonymy. So the metonymy in there is the pen. So the pen is used to symbolize the power of journalism or the power of writing alone than the sword or the forces, the higher forces like the government or the masses that you're trying to fight against. So the pen is mightier than the sword is an example of metonymy. Next. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is the use of words that imitate the sounds associated with the objects or actions that they refer to. Onomatopoeia is often used as an example with children's poems. So, for example, the cat, the cat meowed all night long, which robbed us of our sleep. So the cat meowed because we have no exact word for what a cat sounds like. We use meowed. So for example, the fox ring ding 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 all night long, so we couldn't get enough sleep. Ring ding 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 is an onomatopoeia because if ring ding 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 is what the fox says, that's what you're going to use to describe what it sounds like. Next one, oxymoron. So oxymoron is a figure of speech in which contradictory terms appear side by side. So some example of that is cruel kindness or pretty ugly and stuff like that. So that's actually an example of an oxymoron. So when you put a positive term and a negative term beside each other, so you're basically creating what you call the figure of speech, which is an oxymoron. And a similar one, but different, is called paradox. So if oxymoron is just terms, paradox is now a statement that appears to contradict itself. So an example of this is if a person says about himself that he always lies, is that the truth or a lie? So that is an example of paradox because if you're going to analyze it, it seems to make sense, but if you analyze it more, that sense it kind of contradicts, it kind of contradicts the sense that you made earlier. So that's what you call contradicting itself. So another example is Pinocchio says that his nose will grow now, but we only know that his nose grows when he's lying. So if it grows, he's telling the truth. But if it doesn't grow, he's lying. So it's confusing, right? So that's an example of a paradox. So the next one, personification. So this is a very common example. It is in which an inanimate object or abstraction is bestowed with human qualities or abilities. So it's like the sun smiles at the people in the park. Of course, we all know that the sun cannot smile because it is an inanimate object. So by giving it a human quality, which is smile, we're basically making personification of the inanimate object. So next. This is my favorite one because I always practice this upon my colleagues. And so this one is called pun. So a pun is a play on words, or sometimes on different senses of the same word, and sometimes on the similar sense or sound of different words. So there are so many ways that you can make a pun, and you can all make them very cool, very awesome. So an example of this is, it's hard to make friends with a kleptomaniac because they always take things literally. Get it? Because a kleptomaniac takes things literally. So that's an example of a pun. Next, simile, a stated comparison which is usually formed with like or as. So if you remember a while ago, I was talking about metaphor, which is comparison without the use of like or as. So in simile, you need to use like or as in comparing two things. So for example, you are as beautiful as the summer sky. So you're comparing you and the summer sky. So by doing that and using the term as, you're basically making a simile. So another one is popular song lyrics. We feeling so fly like a G6. So even if that doesn't make any sense, but it used like to compare being so fly, maybe it is another term for being high, like a G6. G6 is actually a model of a jet plane. So fly like a G6 is an example of simile. So next one. The next one is synecdoche. Synecdoche is a figure of speech in which a part is used to represent the whole. So, for example, ABCs for alphabet, or 1, 2, 3s for the numerals. So this can also work backwards, the whole for a part. So it's like England won the World Cup in 1966, but you're just pertaining to one part of England, like you're just pertaining about London, something like that. And so the last one is understatement. So understatement is a figure of speech in which a writer or speaker deliberately makes a situation seem less important or serious than it is. So an example of this is, I have to have this operation. It's not very serious. I have this tiny little tumor on the brain. So that is an understatement in the sense that, of course, as with common logic, tumors are very dangerous. And if you are going to talk about it as it's not very serious, you're making an understatement because you make it seem that the tumor is not as serious as it appears to be. Okay, so did you understand that? Good. Now, do you remember that along with having you search for the different figures of speech, I also asked you to listen to the song Used to Be by Stevie Wonder and Charlene. Am I correct? Did you search? Did you listen? For those who didn't, raise your hands. Who did not listen to the song? Honestly. Now, I won't get mad because if you didn't listen to the song, I will play it right now, for the sake of the activity that I'm gonna give to you. So raise your hands. Okay, so the majority of the class didn't listen to the song. So if this was a normal classroom discussion, I would give you a punishment, but of course we're focused on the activity. So what I want you to do is group yourselves into 5. So I have already grouped you into 5. Okay, so how many groups are there? 6. Okay, so before we start the activity, I am going to play the song once again. So I want you to stay quiet and listen to the song as I play it. So here goes. The song is Used to Be by Stevie Wonder and Charlene. Listen carefully. Okay, so have you listened already? So are we done? Are you ready? Okay. So the activity for today is called Song Interpretation. So in song interpretation, in 200 words or less, I want you, by group, to write on a one whole sheet of intermediate paper what you have learned from the song and what do you think the song has in terms of its meaning and significance to today's society. So I want you to work on that as a group, brainstorm upon that, and in 20 minutes I will be back to check on your activities, and I want you in front to present those activities that you have done by group. So get started. So I'm only giving you 19 more minutes to finish that. Okay, so since we do not have the time left, so I'm just going to give that to you as an assignment, and also you're just going to present that tomorrow. And also, for an additional assignment, I want you to read about the selection, The Maths, by Francisco Arceliana. And after reading that, I want you to prepare for a quiz that I'm going to give tomorrow regarding the different figures of speech. So, do you have any questions? So if you have no more questions, I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, class.